Hi everyone, Yasas, que kalasirtate to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today I have another dessert recipe for you that is holiday table worthy. If you're looking for a dessert to serve on Thanksgiving or anytime during the holidays or for a special occasion, and if you're making it for Thanksgiving and you're not into pumpkin and all those types of flavors, this is the one for you, especially if you like chocolate. This is my chocolate version of Karidopita, which is a spiced Greek walnut cake. This is a soft cake that has walnuts in it, cinnamon, spices. I put chocolate chunks. I top it with the smoothest chocolate ganache, and the whole combination, your house smells amazing and just tastes so good. You have to try it. Let me show you how I make it. Okay, we're going to begin by making the syrup because this is a syrup-based cake and we need the syrup to cool down. So in a small saucepan, I'll go ahead and add 1.5 cups of granulated sugar, a cinnamon stick, 2 cups of water. You can throw some citrus in here if you want a little more depth of flavor. The peel of an orange would just be so good in this. And then we're just going to cook this over the stovetop over medium heat until everything comes to a boil. Once the sugar has dissolved, turn the heat off and stir in about 1/2 cup of Greek honey or your favorite honey and a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Whisk that all together, give it a nice mix, and then take it off of the stovetop and let it cool completely. Just at room temperature is fine. Next, we're going to get the cake ready. So make sure that you have some really fresh walnuts ready for this. We're going to use 1.5 to 2 cups of them. I like to just pulse them a few times in a little food processor until they're ground up, just not too coarse and not too fine, so that way the cake does have a little bit of texture to it. Set them aside, and we're going to whisk our dry ingredients together just so that way the whisk stays clean. If you do the wet ingredients first, then you're going to have to use another whisk. Why use 2 pieces of kitchen equipment when you could do it all with one? So in my bowl over here, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and to that I'll add 30 grams or 1/3 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, and a pinch of salt. Whisk that all together and set it aside. And now we're going to get working on our wet ingredients. And you could do this all in a big bowl, or if you want to use your tabletop mixer like a KitchenAid, that will work too. We're going to add 1 cup of light olive oil to the bowl, or your favorite vegetable oil that's flavorless, 1 cup of granulated sugar, a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Whisk that all together, and then we're going to add in 6 eggs. Make sure that they're at room temperature. Now I have a cup of milk over here, and I want that to be slightly warm, not hot. And to that, I'm going to add some coffee. Coffee really makes chocolate have a much richer and deeper flavor. You won't be able to taste the coffee in this cake at all, but if you don't add it, you'll miss it. It'll be less chocolatey. We'll add the instant coffee to the milk, and then I'll add the milk to the egg and sugar and oil mixture. Whisk that all together. And I also like to add my baking soda in at this point. I like to add the baking soda with the wet ingredients. It just dissolves much better. So 1 teaspoon of baking soda is going in. We're going to whisk this all up until everything is nice and smooth. It's just going to take a couple of minutes for that to happen. Then I'll add in my flour mixture a little bit at a time, whisking just until everything is fully incorporated. Don't over whisk because then you'll have a denser cake. So before we add the walnuts and the chocolate chunks in, I'm going to combine them in a bowl and add 1 to 2 tablespoons of flour to them. Toss everything all together so the flour lightly coats the walnuts and the chocolate. So we have the 1.5 to 2 cups of walnuts here that are ground up, 1 cup of semi-sweet chocolate. You can chop it up into chunks. You can use chocolate chips for this. I just buy these little chunks and that's what I'm going to use. And when you fold the chocolate and the walnuts, once they're coated in a little bit of flour into your cake batter, they'll stay suspended in the cake and they won't sink down to the bottom. So mix everything all together. You're going to want to lightly grease a 9 by 13-inch baking pan with either oil or baking spray or butter, and then pour that batter into the prepared baking pan. Smooth it out. You could even tap it a few times to release any air bubbles. And this is going to bake in a 350-degree preheated oven. That's 180 degrees Celsius. It's going to bake on the center rack for about 45 minutes. You'll know it's ready when a toothpick or a skewer that's inserted into the center of the cake comes out clean or with a few moist crumbs attached. If it needs a little more time in there, you can just keep an eye on it. Just try not to overbake it. As soon as it's done, take it out of the oven and poke it all around, poke the cake all around with either a skewer or a toothpick to create little holes where the syrup will just absorb. We're gonna pour all of the syrup on top at this point. It's gonna look like a lot. It'll even puddle around the edges of the cake, and that's what needs it the most anyway. And we're gonna let this sit at room temperature for a couple of hours until it cools down, and then all of that syrup will have absorbed. You wanna wait before you add the ganache for the cake to be completely cooled at room temperature. You can even chill it in the refrigerator and then add the ganache later on once it's slightly cooled. It's totally up to you. The ganache is so easy to make. I'm just gonna add 8 ounces or 230 grams of semi-sweet chocolate into a bowl, 1 cup of really steaming hot, heavy whipping cream, a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and a half a teaspoon of instant coffee, because just like I said before, the instant coffee really deepens that chocolate flavor and it makes it so much more chocolatey and rich. So whisk that all together until the mixture is silky and smooth and shiny. And by now your cake should be nice and cool. We're gonna pour that ganache on top and spread it so that way the whole top of the cake is covered with it. Let it set for a little bit of time. I think that the hardest thing about making this cake is waiting for all of the steps. So you have to wait a little bit, a few hours for the cake to cool down. Then you have to wait another maybe 30 minutes to an hour for that ganache to set. Waiting while you're smelling that goodness is really hard. And then once it's ready to serve, we're just gonna cut this into serving pieces. You can get 12 really big pieces of cake, or you can cut each one into triangles and end up with 24. It's up to you. Once you slice into this cake, you're gonna see just how moist and tender it is. The fork just glides through it. It's moist, delicious, and tastes so good with a cup of hot coffee. It's ready to serve. And there you have it. My chocolate Karidopita is ready. And if you like moist cakes that actually stay moist, this is the one for you. It is already soft because it's a light sponge cake, but once it's baked, we pour the syrup on top, and that just ensures that it's going to stay extra soft and just melt in your mouth. Let's do the taste test because I'm literally drooling over here waiting to taste it. Wow. Perfection. If you like Mexican hot chocolate, which is that chocolate with a little bit of cinnamon in it, you're gonna love this. You're gonna fall in love with it. This might be one of my favorite chocolate cakes. It's so good. The cake is super soft. It melts in your mouth. The chocolate ganache on top, just perfect. It's like the chef's kiss on top. You can definitely get a little more decadent by serving this with a scoop of ice cream or homemade whipped cream. Totally up to you. Let me know how you're serving it in the comment section down below. To print this recipe out, you can head on over to the website, dimitrasdishes.com. Definitely make this and call some friends over and share the goodness. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes, us. That is crazy good.